YouTube channel. Okay, so today's video, I get a lot of requests on how to decal names on tumblers. So today I am going to show you how I size the rhinestone to the name on the decal. And it's a quick and easy process. It's really not that difficult. Don't put too much thought into it. Once you start learning your sizes, you'll get a little bit quicker and a better understanding on what size to use on your fonts. So I hope you enjoy. Okay, first off, don't mind the paint job. As I stated in my first video about prepping tumblers, your paint job does not have to be perfect because we're placing rhinestones over it. The reason that I paint my tumbler is so when I place my rhinestones and you have the gaps, you'll see the paint through the gaps rather than the stainless steel tumbler. Before you get started, the importance of having filler stones is why you need them to help with your decals on your name decals. Okay, this is one set that I have. As you can tell, it's been used a lot. Light pink is very, very popular amongst my clients. This I will link where I get my supplies in the description below. Okay, this is from Be Createful. It's really supposed to be full like this, okay? I buy multiple colors. Whenever I buy my main stone for the cup, I always buy filler stones for them. Here is another bag that Be Createful sells. This size ranges from 16 all the way down to 3s, okay? It's like 16, 12, 10, 8, I think I wrote it back here. 8, 6, and 3 on these little round discs. On the bigger bags where they sell them in this plastic bag with each individual compartment, these run from 30 SS through 10, and then the smallest size is a SS 6. So I buy multiple. I always buy different kinds. Like these are my white opals. I even have these that I keep in these little containers. I put my multi-size. These are 3s right here. These are more 3s. These are 6s. And these are 10s. So I always keep, always keep filler stones in the main stone that I buy. You know, so for example, these are my SS20s. These are my light pink. So when I buy the SS20s, I buy the filler stones to go along with them. These are also little ones that I have, some 3s. And then this is just a multi-size pack as well that I keep in this container. So it is very important whenever you start to rhinestone, and let's say you start, you know, wanting to put decals, always buy multi-size stones, because especially these multi-packs, this is going to be your best option to use. Okay, so I brought you in closer to get a better view. Hopefully this works for you all. You have a good view and it's not too much of a glare from the light. But you see how the font has different sizes of lines, right? You see the M's here, it's thinner right here along this edge. The C starts off wide, it gets skinny, and it goes wide again. You see that throughout the whole decal. So what I like to do is I like to size my stones first. Remember, I said that this multi-size pack ranges from 16 all the way to 3s. So you really don't need to know the exact size stone. I get asked a lot, what size stone, what size stone? I'm like, I don't know. I just place it, and if I like the way it looks, then I glue it. So for sure right here, this is the size 16. So I'm going to place that 16, and I want it just to cover the decal, okay? I just wanted to cover the decal enough to my liking. And the 16 fits perfectly right here. But you see how close it is to this one? So my next stone that I'm going to place right there is a 6. And I'm just going to size it. This is the long, tedious thing to do, is to size them first, make sure you're happy with it. If you don't like that size, this is a 3 right here. You can always go a little bit smaller. So this is how I start. I size it up. So I know for sure 16s are going to go all the way down. But I'm going to shift it down a little bit right here to see what it's going to look like when I put the smaller stone on this line. So there, I can put a 3 right here. And then you know you have that little bit of white right here in between the line of the M. So that's something to consider too. So I'm going to place all these 3s. I'm going to take the 6s off. Put the 16. And I'm just going to see how it looks and if I'm going to like the way it's going to turn out. And these 3s just cover this line perfectly. This little line. My hand's probably in the way right now. It's because the stone is stuck and I'm trying to unstick it. And it looks crooked, but this is just me placing it. Once I put the glue on there, once I put the glue there and lay the stone on it, the stone's going to attach to the glue rather quickly, and then I can shift it later once it's stuck to the glue. So that's what I'm going to do, because I want to make sure that you could see that spacing between the 2 lines of the M. That way I can also start placing a white stone in between here. And I like to go ahead and place the filler of the white while I'm doing the decal, because that way I can shift my stones around, if that makes sense, which you'll see what I'm talking about. So this is what you do. You want to go around and you want to make sure. So I know these are going to be 16. This is the same, this is the same, this is the same, this is the same, and this is the same width. So I know I'm going to put 16, 16, 16, 16, 16s here. I know I'm going to put 16s here. I'm going to put 16s here because these are all the same width. So that's how I know I'm going to use the same size 16 here. Okay. I'm only going to use the 3 right here between this because it's the thinnest line, and I want to be able to show that separation between the 2 lines. Okay. And then as far as these are going to be 6s. I can already tell you that because I already know what size the 6 are, this, which is right here. And it's going to be perfect for me to make a complete circle. Maybe right here it'll have to be 3s because I'm going to have to place some opal white right here in the middle. So technically, yes, this will end up being 3s around instead of the 6s. I think 3s will work out better. 3s will be this small around here, and that way I can fill some opal white in there. I really hope I'm making sense to you all. And then I'm just going to gauge the sizes on these. You know, like I know this is 16, so I'll probably use this as 6. Go do a 6 to a 8 or a 6 to a 10. You know, I'll talk my way through it. But that's how I start it. Once I know these are going to be 16s and those are 3s, then I can pretty much guess like these are 16s, and then I'll just guess on the other ones. Because really it is just a lot of guesswork. It's what you like, how much you want your stone to cover the decal. There's no right or wrong way. It's just what your preference is. And I'm just showing you what I do. Here we go. Let's get started. My glue of choice is Liquid Fusion, and I put it in this glue precision tip applicator. So remember, I said I was going to use 16s. I just place them, and then I worry about, after I place them, then I'll just make sure that my line is straight. Okay, now I'm going to start putting my 3s right here. Once my line starts getting wider, then I'm going to shift to the next size up. So I'm right here. You see right here that the line is getting wider. I want to go to the next biggest size to show the transition. Then I want to go to the next biggest size to show the transition. Well, this is actually bigger than what that was. This is actually a 12. That's my kid taking a shower. Here's my 16. A smaller stone right here to cover the decal. Okay, now I'm going to make sure they're shifted and they're straight, how I like it. I think actually I'm going to take this 16 off right here. Add more glue, and I'm gonna make it a 12. You just make adjustments to what you think you like or what looks better. Finish this side since I already placed the stone. It doesn't matter where you start. So those are 16, so I want to try to put a 12 above it because I want it, since the line is changing shape. So I'm going to go down a size. And then just follow the pattern of the font as far as the sizes. I just keep going down a size and down a size. The more you'll get familiar with your sizes, especially when it comes in a multi-pack. Okay, now I'm going to finish the M. Remember, I like the way the 12s fit better, so now these are 12s. And so the line is thinner here. So we're going to shift up and over to the R. Now place some 6s right here, and then I really like this as the 12. We'll go 6s here, then I like this to be the 12 as well. So let me add more 12s into this mix. And there's some space right behind here, so I'm going to put a tiny 3. So it's just your preference on how you want it to make it look. And I went ahead and I placed 2 12s on the R and 1 16 at the bottom. Because if I would have put 3 12s, I still would have had more space at the bottom and had to place another stone. So I like it better to just have the 3 stones. Now I'm going to go up right here to the R. That I'm going to go ahead and place the 3s. They're just a tad bit smaller than the 6, so you'll see the R more defined. I know I said I was going to do 6s, but now that I'm looking at it, I'm going to use 3s. Shift my arm over a little bit. Place one more. And you just shift it to how you like it. Put a 16 right there. And that's what you do. You just basically, like I said, you gauge it. So now that I know, since these were 16s, this line's a little crooked. I can see it now, so let me make adjustments. With liquid fusion, you still have a little bit of working time. So you can start shifting a little bit without affecting it too much. I can just sure my line is straight. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and time lapse the rest of this. I hope this was a little bit informative. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment below. You can also find me on Instagram at locoblingz. My DMs are always open. So again, I know I use 16s here. I'm gonna go ahead and, since I use 16 on this line, I'm gonna go ahead and use the 16 on this line. But the rest of them right here were 12. So I'm going to use 12s over here. That's what I know I had said earlier. I was going to do 16s to match this line. But it's actually the width of this line and that line. And I use 12s. So I'm going to just go 16 here. And then 12, 12, 12, 12. And then just fill in with whatever the sizing of the line when it changes shape. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and time lapse that right now. Okay, so now here's the little section here that I said I was gonna do threes because I'm gonna have to fit some white opals in this little oval spot. So I'm gonna go the smallest size to threes. And that's something you also have to be mindful about when you have these open circles and you need to fill them with the color of the tumbler. So like here and here. So be mindful of that. And not a little trick, but I am going to show you a little hack or a little trick you can do. Look, I grabbed 2 stones with one pickup. Since I just placed them and that is such a tiny oval spot, I'm going to go ahead and fill it while the glue's wet. And if the oval shape wants to reshape, when I place these tiny white opals in there, I'd rather do it when it's wet and not when it's dry. So I'm going to place these tiny white opals in that spot. I'm going to put some threes in there. See, and it already shifted that a little bit, but that's okay because it's wet. I'm just going to move it around once I place these tiny white opals in here to make some room. See how the line's all wonky? Do that when it's wet on these tiny spaces so that way you can make adjustments. While everything is wet, you can fill your space right here. I put the little white opals. You probably can't even see that on the camera. But that will help you to prevent, like let's say I didn't do it and I waited for this to dry the next day and I went to go place the little stones in there and they wouldn't fit, and then you would have to pop stones off, get it to fit, and then glue everything back. So that's my little hack that I do there. I'm going to do the same thing in this little small space for the O. I probably should have done it here with the white, which I'll do. I mean, the glue is not completely dry, so I still have time to do it. So I like doing that when the glue is still wet. In this little line. Oops, I dropped it. This little line right here in the middle. Just to give it that definition of that O. Okay, so now I'm going to fill this little bottom of the O while it's still wet with some white opal. white stones are in there. And just adjust. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and do this A. I'm going to go ahead and fill this spot. Everything is still wet. I can still shift things around. You will place one white stone in there. Just shift it up a little bit. Get into this space. Remember, because everything is still wet, still have, it can still move and adjust. So I like doing it wet so you can adjust the pink. I forgot this part. And again, this is so important to have all size of filler stones. I can't stress that enough. And I'm just sizing. These two are the same size. The M is getting wider, so I'm going to go with the next size. It's getting wider, go the next size. Okay, I am done. I got into all the little spaces while my stones were wet, so if I needed to shift the M, so I got into the spaces. Like I left this here because I'll be able to fit stones in here easily, but like in these little spaces and these little spaces, I went ahead and I placed them now while the pink stones were still wet, so if I needed to shift the pink and the white, I was able to do so. So I went ahead and filled that. So that's my little trick that I wanted to teach y'all, a little hack. I want to thank you for watching. Continue to leave me comments, or you can find me on Instagram at locoblingz. Again, I really hope this was helpful to you all. If you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, share. I'd appreciate everything. Again, you know, I'm not the best at teaching, and I just hope that, you know, you learned a little something from me today. So thank you all.